Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 23 of my Regrowth Let's Play. As you can see, I've been in the process of tearing down and rebuilding and tearing down the farms, and since last time I have completely torn down the lab, because it's time to build my final farms. Ba-dum. So I want a better setup than I've had available to me before, and I decided, for one thing, I wanted to complete this wall that Morvi designed, have it completely encircle the base, and the best way to do that was actually to get rid of the lab. It's going to be moved. Right now, I'm just going to get the farms built because I don't have the sheer hours that I need to put into designing and creating the lab in the proper location between now and when I leave for packs. In any case, this is going to be the ground floor right here, and I'm going to have people walking in along, well, actually just about along the same line as before. But for today, we're not going to worry about that. And it's probably going to end up looking a lot the same. But like I said, today we're not going to worry about that. Today we're going to worry about getting the farms together. And I've got a couple of things that I want to do for that. For one, we're going to break this stuff down. The farms are going to occupy 2 floors. 6, 7, 8 water tanks are going to run up the middle of those 2 floors, allowing for 64,000 millibuckets, or 64 buckets. And we're going to need to build a little something underneath here. Specifically, we need a pool of water down here, a little bit underneath everything. And we're going to grab our pump that we were using to provide water for mariculture. And there it is, as well as some quartz fluid pipe. The quartz fluid pipe is going to go onto the bottom of the water tank. That made it look odd. That's strange. Pump right there, and we're going to have the wooden engine going into that pump with a lever on the back of it. And the reason we're doing it like this is because this way it's going to be in the floor completely. The whole thing will be covered. The only thing that will show will be the wooden water tank, which will seem to connect with the floor. There we go. Making long-term plans for building these farms. It's something to consider. And yes, this does mean that I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with that world anchor, because I want my farms covered by the world anchor. And I'm also going to probably want my Botania and most of my, at least some of my machines covered by the world anchor. I'm thinking keeping my witchery stuff, at least at the moment I'm thinking keeping my witchery stuff is not that important. Having that covered isn't going to help me too much. So that'll probably be what ends up getting moved. Yes, we are moving lots of stuff today. Alright, so the sash does not let me jump out of water quite that easily. Get this lever going. And if I find that this is not enough power to give the pump to keep the wooden tank full, let's make sure that this is actually working before we go anywhere. You can see that the pump has extended down into the water and is now starting to draw off of it. Or should be starting to draw off of it. Anytime now. Come on. Anyway, if I find that this is not getting enough power from the one pump to keep all of the sprinklers running, then I can very easily add more pumps. So, the sprinklers, they are going to be at 3 high. So when we are, the 3rd block high. So when we walk around in our lab, or, well, in our agricultural area, we will be directly underneath the channel. Or do I want to put it 1 more high? That might be a good idea, actually, to go 1 up from here. It will mean making another water tank. There we go. Yep, it's currently gaining water. It's not going super fast, but it is gaining water. a bit at a time. Strange that the animations aren't quite working out the way I want them to. That's okay. So, like I said, if I want to go one more up than this, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right to the center of the 7x7. Because if I have it here with the sprinkler there, I'm going to run into it. I don't want that. As such, we will, in fact, go one higher. That will be better. Get the sprinkler on there. And now we can... We're going to need to extend our tank one more level. Not lever. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. So what I'm doing right now is really just like proof of concept to show you how things are going to work. 1, 2, 3, right there. Get my dirt filled in enough that I can at least get to the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now I'm standing on the right spot. And there we have it. Now we can run around underneath these sprinklers without trouble, which is good. We want as much stuff as possible off the ground where it's not going to affect us. Well, it's gaining fluid. It's just not going very fast, but this is not up to full speed yet. And I don't think it's going to be using a lot of fluid in the long run. So I'm not too worried about it. All right. And then what else we're going to be doing here is we're going to go up a level. Not that I'm going to have stairs or anything built yet, but I will eventually build those things. And we're going to make this the next floor level so that we can fill in a nice ceiling. A good ceiling would be good. Yes, that's brilliant. A good ceiling would be good. A nice looking ceiling over top of the irrigation channel. We won't be able to get up to see the irrigation channel, but honestly, that's okay. And we're going to run our next line of irrigation channels from there. Now, I could very easily have extended things a little bit higher than I have and like had more pipe coming up. But if I had more pipe coming up, then you'd see the pipe going into the bottom of the water tank. All right, the single pump was definitely not managing the load as well as I needed it to. As such, I have replaced it with 4 pumps, which is now keeping the tank quite full despite the sprinklers pulling out of it. Now, these do definitely have an FPS drag on them. It's part of why I tore it down in the first place. Between these and all of the crops, there was a bit of an FPS issue. However, I believe that part of that is getting worked on in future versions of the various mods that are being used. And part of that is just going to be made better by the recent video card upgrade, which should hopefully stop that from being an issue any longer. These Botania and AgriCraft particles and entities can really drag your system down a bit, but they are so pretty and so worth using. We need to go one more. I'm going one extra space beyond the range of the sprinklers on each of these, because I do intend to make use of the Botania, whatever those flowers are called, agricarnations as well. The idea being that I'm going to have one breeding, or, well, maybe a couple breeding and upgrade areas where the agricarnations will be able to do their work, making things really awesome. As you can see, this stayed tilled, this is not getting hydrated, and will fade soon. Alright, so let me finish filling in this dirt. I just wanted to show you where the new home of the farms was going to be before I got moving on some better materials. Now, a lot of the better material crafting, or at least the better material seed production, I will do off-screen, because you guys have seen me do quite so much of it. You don't need to see any more. Oops, we need to go one more dirt that direction, don't we? Yep. However, this, this, this. None of that's staying hydrated. Excellent. Fantastic. Huh. They seem to just lock up and wait when it's actually full. I don't know if that's going to continue, but that's okay. Alrighty. So let's get some new stuff going. As promised, between last episode and this one, I started the crafting recipe for the extreme essence stone, extreme infusion stone. So let me grab a little bit of living rock. So you can see all of those essences floating around in that nice pretty circle. And I need my living wand. That's the wrong bag entirely. You know what? I don't have any Buildcraft stuff in my inventory. You can go home. And I'm pretty good on farm stuff too at the moment. Alright, good. On to bigger, better, brighter things. Extreme Infusion Stone allows us to craft Extreme Essence, and will allow us to create the Master Infusion Stone. However, that requires a couple of things that we don't have yet, so we're not going to worry about that just yet. What we are going to worry about is handing in this quest and collecting 10 Extreme Essence and 4 Wither Skeleton Skulls, as well as opening up a whole new host of seed quests. Withering Seeds are definitely on my list. Wither Soul Seeds would be very useful. However, first on my list is going to be the Cobalt Seeds. That's right, now that we've collected the Cobalt and Ardite from the Nether, we're going to start growing it. And I've got my Tinker's Construct stuff lined up over here, near where it came from. So I'm going to need a block of Cobalt and a block of Manulin, which is why we're doing the Cobalt first, because I have the least amount of Cobalt. I have 3 more blocks of Ardite, and I want to be able to generate Cobalt so that I can then create the Ardite seeds. Let's take a look at what else we need for the Cobalt seeds. Oh, we need a Rune of Envy, Rune of Lust, Rune of Greed, some steel, and some blue powder before we can do this. Never mind, let's just kind of tuck that away for a moment. We're going to need some upgrades. Specifically, if we need steel, that means that we need to go back to the quest book for what the world enables and get on blasting off again. Now that you've got to titanium, you should be able to use it to reinforce some infernal bricks to form a structure which can maintain the perfect amount of heat to both produce steel and refine it. To achieve this perfect balance of heat, it must run off of charcoal or coal coke. We're going to need 34 blast furnace bricks. So if I take a look at the blast furnace brick, the first thing I notice is I need sheets of titanium for every 4 sheets of titanium for every 9 blast furnace bricks. I need 34 blast furnace bricks that I'm going to need to make at least 4 of these crafts, so I'm going to need 16 sheets of titanium, which is going to take me, well, I could do them on the anvil to turn 9 ingots into 8 sheets, or I could do it in the rolling machine to turn 4 ingots into 4 sheets. So I'm going to need 16 ingots of titanium before I can continue. Now, I've got a couple of options. I could just do it all by hand, or I can set up, at least temporarily, a small system that will be able to mass produce titanium on a more industrial scale, where all I need to do is feed it the ingredients. And if you've watched this channel at all before, you should know that I'm going to go for the industrial scale production. It's not going to be a very large build. In fact, I can probably tuck it into this little area over here. That'll be about all the space that I need. So let me start massaging my inventory a bit and getting everything into proper order so that I can start creating a whole bunch of titanium. Back soon. Alrighty, folks, I have a crucible furnace set up right next to a smeltery drain here. Well, right next to a smeltery on the drain, specifically. We're going to set this guy to auto-eject fluids, and we're going to find out if this will allow us to simply place in... By the way, I made one ultimate heating upgrade with some of the titanium that I had. If we will be able to simply place in the magnesium and have it automatically export into the smeltery, because that would be awesome. Magnesium has a melting point of only 650 degrees, and lava can get the crucible furnace up to, there we go, 1500 degrees. Uses, and it gives 20 degrees per millibucket or so, I think. In any case, we'll be finding out very soon if this will be able to auto-eject into the smeltery. If that is the case, that is going to make my life a lot easier. Either way, we are going to make ourselves something a little bit new, but shouldn't be very new to those of you who are Minecraft veterans. We're going to create the tanks from Buildcraft factory module. We're going to put a wooden an emerald fluid pipe on that tank, and we are going to get a couple of quartz fluid pipes out of my Buildcraft bag. How about fluid pipes, not transport pipes? You know what? I don't seem to have any more quartz fluid pipes, do I? In fact, I have relatively few fluid pipes. And honestly, quartz are the best because they move as fast as the output that I have. So we're going to be using those. Let me get 2 of those. We're going to stick one of them right here and one of them right there. Ooh, what just happened right there? Ooh, I don't know if that's going to attempt to pump lava into the crucible furnace or not, but we're certainly about to find out. So the whole point of this is to be able to throw a wooden engine on here and start it running. And then grab a bunch of fire essence, like so, and craft it in our crafting, our assembly halo into lava buckets. And this way, we only need to fill this tank, and we can hold up to 32 buckets in one go. And it is indeed attempting to put lava into the crucible furnace, which is then being auto-ejected into the smeltery. This is terrible. No, no. Oh god, why? Let me fix this. That's not going to work out at all. So, you know what? I don't mind losing a little bit of stuff. We're going to break the smeltery entirely. And the crucible furnace. We're going to move this whole thing over slightly. The drain is going to go on the end, and the controller is going to go in the middle. That crucible furnace will be put back into place with the fluid tank full of lava underneath it. And then we just need to give it a quartz fluid pipe going to that tank, as well as one going to the seared tank. And I am certain that throwing everything on the ground and not being able to hold everything in my inventory like that probably, and also destroying some materials, probably drove a few people nuts. I am honestly okay with that because I'm a bad, bad person. So that's this portion of events. And we could now, you know what? We've got plenty of capacity, potential capacity at least, in the smeltery. So what we're going to do, because I don't need to go any further than this at the moment, we're going to melt down 32 magnesium dust and 16 rutile ore in the smeltery. In fact, I can get all of the rutile in there all in one go. That's kind of nice. So the smeltery will happily accept and melt rutile into impure titanium, and then magnesium plus rutile in the smeltery will create the pure titanium that allows us to get our titanium ingots. Now, this is not anywhere near complete because, one, we still have to constantly fuel this thing with lava manually. We're going to want to fix that later if we want to really, truly mass-produce titanium, which I do. And two, we have a little issue of not having nearly enough magnesium to just ignore it. We're going to have to find a way to provide it with more magnesium. Well, that is actually fairly easy to do. So, how we're going to handle that, we've got our other crucible furnace here. And we're going to get an empty fluid tank, if I can find one. I don't have an empty fluid tank. I've got this one with just a little bit of molten experience in it. But I am honestly uncertain how to change that into an empty tank. Actually, no. I know exactly how to change that into an empty tank. We're going to come over here where I have been continuing to produce coal coke. I have 10 fluid tanks full of creosote oil, 160 buckets of it. That's enough for me to stash for the time being, So I've attached a void fluid pipe to this emerald fluid pipe. And that does exactly what you would expect a void pipe to do. It destroys whatever enters it. So if I were to switch, there we go. This gets pumped into there and then is voided. It is now gone forever, giving me an empty tank. Excellent. So if I want to be able to have a hopper pull the magnesium out of the crucible furnace that I'm creating, or place the magnesium into the crucible furnace I already have, which means pulling it out of the vat. As such, where are my vats? Here's one. To make magnesium, as you've seen, requires the 3 buckets of water and 4 buckets of quicklime, which a vat can hold all on its own. No need to 2x2 it. But it might make life slightly easier if I did. Let's try building it small first. So we're going to put the vat there. We're going to put the empty fluid tank here. We're going to put the 2 crucible furnaces on top of that. And I think I'm then... Oh, you know what? We're then going to move this whole tank assembly a little bit away. Yeah, we're going to stick the emerald fluid pipe. You know what? We're going to stick the emerald fluid pipe right there and have the wooden engine here and the tank right there. This'll do. This'll work out just fine because then I only need 1, 2, 3 more of these quartz fluid pipes. They can connect just ooh. Never mind. It almost works, but not quite. Should have known it was too good to be true. Okay. I get 1 more quartz fluid pipe, which is good because it's the last of the quartz pipes that I have on hand. Then we can put it like that. Excellent. And now we can stick the emerald fluid pipe there, the wooden engine there, the lever back into place. Iterative design, folks. This is what I do with my time. Excellent. Now when I put more lava in there, which I need to grow more lava before I can put more lava in there, or I need to recover it from underground, which definitely an option, which we will be exploring in a moment. For now, though, I'm just going to toss some, I'd say some coal, but I'm all out. Here, I've got a whole bunch of coal coke. We're going to put just 8 coal coke in there to do the job for the time being. And we're going to get a hopper on this guy with a barrel above it. And that barrel is in that barrel is going to live limestone. Let me just make an awful lot of limestone. Limtison. No. Limestone. 3 pages worth of microblocks. I really need to turn the microblocks off. You make all the limestone. Four stacks at a time. That's okay. It'll do. Limestone has a melting point of 825 degrees C, so it won't take very long for this to get up to temp. And actually, now that this guy's up to temp, we can go ahead and move these over here and get you hotter faster. Now all we need to do is give this some water, and honestly, the easy way would be to get that pump, or to make another pump and pump water in from underneath. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that, because I can run some fluid pipes straight down there without a problem. So I'll be right back. I'm going to make myself another pump and build another little area full of water with a bunch of pipes feeding water into that vat. See you in a moment. All right, pump in place. 4 engines powered by 2 levers this time, because, you know, I guess that's slightly more material efficient. It's not like these sticks and cobblestone are free, you know? Actually, cobblestone isn't free this pack. It's a weird state of affairs. And we give that just a moment. It'll start putting some water in there. As you can see, we already have a good bit of quicklime that is slowly being pumped in from our crucible furnace. though the temperature is dropping. We've run through our coal coke, so I'm just going to dump a little bit more in there for the time being. Oh! Did not consider that. Hang on. Need to solve that issue right there. Can't be having all of our quicklime end up in the fluid tank after all. Oh, you know what? That whole auto output thing is a real killer sometimes. So, ooh. This is just getting tight. I got too used to being able to easily place lots of things next to each other without any downfall. So, you know what? I can't... You're right. No matter where I put it, I gotta put it back here. I gotta put the fluid tank on this wall here to be able to easily pump that quicklime into that vat. So yeah, do this with lava. It'll save you a little bit of hassle later on. Come here, you. We're gonna borrow you just long enough to come up here. Do I even have another fluid transport pipe of the variety that I need? Fluid. Emerald. That'll do. And in any port in the store. Well, I mean, it's exactly what I want, but it would still, like, if I had only had a wooden pipe, I'd have taken it at this point. Bimp. 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 There we go. Yeah. Monsters, monsters, you're scary. Really. Promise. Okay, there we go. So this is producing quicklime, which is getting dumped into here, which is melting into magnesium, which is automatically outputting into the smeltery. And now I need another one of them emerald pipes. Organized. I am not. That's okay. You guys all knew that. We're just going to go ahead and use an emerald fluid pipe. So, I did some looking into it, and it looks like any issues that might crop up with the whole thing that it doesn't want to, like, auto output reliably, where you end up accidentally losing a bit of material here and there when using Buildcraft pipes on this sort of system. Those are very intermittent. I went through a couple of 100 blocks worth of materials, and I only lost a couple of nuggets once right at the end. Not something I'm going to worry too much about. And we'll put our hopper down there. I mean, you guys saw me do a whole bunch of processing through here. Now, the problem that we run into is I only want to pull titanium out with this emerald fluid pipe right now. To make that happen, we're actually going to need to grab a... Ooh, server restart in a moment. We're going to need a seared faucet. If we stuff a seared faucet on the casting basin, over the casting basin, we put a bucket into the basin, and we make sure titanium is on the bottom, which it is, we can pour a bucket of titanium... Nope, I was wrong. I need the casting table for this. That's okay. Alright, we'll be right back after the server restarts. Alright, so as it turns out, that's not working either, and I assume this is largely an issue with this specific metal. As such, we are going to get ourselves that empty fluid tank again. We're going to try putting that underneath the faucet, and that should let us pour out. Yep, there we go. Now we're able to pour out the titanium. And then we just need to get a bucket of it as soon as we have enough. Can we even get a bucket of molten titanium? That might be my problem here. I might not be allowed to. I might actually need... I look up molten titanium. Get myself some of this bottle of molten titanium. Which the bottles... it's not telling me how to make the bottles, but I can look that up for you. Those specific bottles are made from mariculture empty bottles, which are made from the heat-resistant glass. Ancient sand. Weird. Which you can get by treating glass in a vat full of aluminium and quicklime. So that's one option, but I'd prefer to avoid it. However, I don't know if that's actually possible right now. Well, that's going to make it an awful lot harder to filter this emerald fluid pipe. Can I just set it to molten titanium? No, probably not. That doesn't seem like it's a good idea. Is there a Buildcraft filter? There is. I have no idea how these work. These are made on the assembly table and mostly seem to be colors. This is something entirely different. That's not what I need. Okay, so I think that what this means is we just need to be a little bit careful for now. We're not going to be able to just leave it running full time. Instead, we're going to have to start and stop our device based on how much titanium we have available. I'm going to put that down. We're going to pour the titanium back into the smeltery. And I need to get a bunch more magnesium, a bunch more rutile in there. As such, we are going to temporarily put on hold both of these crucible furnaces. Furnaces. 18 ingots of molten magnesium in there. Hello? Why can't I click you? Oh, I have the crucible bug going on. Crash is imminent. I gotta restart the client, I bet. Alright folks, so here's what's going to happen. When we want to make use of this thing, rather than attempting to make the emerald fluid pipe work for us, as it can't, there is in fact no way for us to filter this that I've been able to find in my short research. If you can think of a way to filter this for titanium specifically, please tell me below, and I will happily look into that. But for the time being, it looks like the best that we can do is make sure that we use up all the titanium we have. So we're going to dump 9 more rutile ore in here. And let's see, 30 molten titanium ingots, 32. That's going to give us 41 out of the 45 that we need. So we're going to grab 4 more titanium ingots and go ahead and melt those down as well, just to get an even multiple of 9 so that we can easily make blocks out of it. Assuming I can melt the titanium ingots in this. Yes, I can. Good. Fantastic. Alright, so while that's going, I'm going to get myself some fire seeds planted because I would really like to get this thing moved over to using the... Oh, words. Why do words always fail me? Using the lava instead of coal for producing the magnesium. The quicklime, which is produced from magnesium. Yes. I have some idea what I'm talking about, just not a lot. Alright, so in the tool bag, that was not the tool bag, that's the tool bag. We have the farming bag, and in the farming bag we have a handful of crops. And I'm only going to make one spot right now, but the general plan, since I have a 7x7 area here, is going to be to set up basically 12 of each crop that I want in that area. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit more fire seeds to make that happen. And eventually, we're going to be automatically harvesting this stuff. Now, I'm waiting on getting into Thaumcraft right now because I want to wait for the quests. If, however, by the time I really need to finish this build, the quests in 0.7 for starting Thaumcraft still are not available, well, I'll just have to take matters into my own hands and finish and start in on getting some golems anyway. It's alright though. It'll all work out in the end. Nothing to panic about. Bump, bump. Just making sure everything's nice and lit so things can grow. I found that getting some lighting in the middle of the 4 sides was plenty enough for basically everything. Kept everything nice and happy. You know what? I need another line of dirt right here. That's okay. We'll get that going. It looks like our titanium just finished. Let's double check. Indeed, we have 54 blocks of molten titanium in there. We are going to start this pumping, and that should get us 54 ingots, which should get us 6 blocks of molten titanium. which is plenty overkill for our blast furnace. So I'm going to wait just a little bit for that titanium to pump out and be able to use, and then I'm going to go get everything together that I need. We're going to put the blast furnace together, and we're going to start making ourselves some steel tonight. Be right back. Correction, looking at the time, it seems that we're going to be making our blast furnace tomorrow night. We are currently crafting up the sheets of titanium necessary. However, one thing I can do before I sign off is create myself a block of impure titanium and use that block of impure titanium to make myself some rutile seeds using fire, earth, winter, and summer runes, as well as 4 strong essence, which I more than have over here. So that's going to be my project in between episodes, is going to be getting that seed ready for myself. Next time, we will get some steel rolling, move up the tech tree slightly more, and work on some other seeds, cobalt, ardite, that sort of thing. Summer and winter, was it? I got the winter. I don't appear to have summer, though. Darn it. You know what? Maybe next time I will show you a at least basic method to automate some of this. That could be good, right? Yeah. Some more automagic rune creation might be a good time. Because I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of doing this all by hand. Alright, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you have enjoyed this episode. And I hope you enjoy the bare bones farm build that we're going to end up building some pretty things around as time progresses. I'm kind of entertained that my method of transport up there at the moment is just raw to the skies, go. That's the only thing I got going for me. That's okay, though. It's fun that way, isn't it? So, if you have enjoyed the episode, please leave a thumbs up, tell me what you liked. If you have not, please leave a thumbs down and tell me what I can do better. And I'll see you next time.